And President Biden has spent much of 2020 telling America that the government is here to help. And as big budget proposals go, he's actually not doing a bad job. This spring, Biden signed the American Rescue Plan, an ambitious $2 trillion stimulus package aimed at combating the devastating effects of the COVID-19 crisis. And then, just a few days ago, he signed the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, a massive $1.2 trillion investment in roads and bridges and water systems and on and on and on. And now the administration has eyes on one of the final pieces to Biden's Build Back Better plan, which is helping American families and investing in childcare. The latest version of the Build Back Better bill includes provisions to fund childcare and universal pre-K, in addition to paid and parental leave, elder care, and other support costs that would create a more fair and equitable economy for low-income and middle-class Americans. Advocates and experts say that this nearly $2 trillion proposal could do so much more to reshape the state of things for communities of color, the very people who have historically been hit hardest by long-standing social and systemic inequalities. Greg Kelly joins me now to tell us more about how Build Back Better could meet this end. He is president of the Service Employees International Union Healthcare for Illinois, Indiana, Missouri, and Kansas. Greg, welcome so much. I'm so excited to have a labor perspective here to talk to us about Build Back Better. So please do share, how will that bill help low and middle income families of color in particular?
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. So, the current bill that we're pushing towards really would transform home care services in this country. Historically, home care work has been undervalued, in large part because that workforce has primarily been made up of women, Black women in particular, who have really been at the front lines of care for home and community-based services. And so this particular part of the Build Back Better plan would provide hundreds of billions of dollars to help scale up this workforce, to make sure that they get paid decent wages, and of course, training them to do even better jobs. And so we believe this is a unique opportunity to right an historic wrong, which has excluded Black women in particular from the type of largesse that other industries have benefited from. So home care needs to be fully funded because care is essential. And so we're really excited about the possibility of getting this passed.
Yeah, I mean, having this, passing this measure that really includes a focus on the care economy, definitely a huge deal. We've had Ai-jen Poo on the show to talk about that before. I wonder, you know, Greg, I've been talking about the social spending, social infrastructure, human infrastructure, all the billion things, euphemisms at this point for this bill that we have. I've been talking about this for months now, and it has been really exciting to see how bold the president's vision is in trying to lift up as many boats as possible. And I wonder, surely there's a lot of people who've historically been left out of the process that are included, but given all the political posturing and the back and forth between the moderates and the progressives, can you tell us just the current state of play here? Is anyone still being left out in this bill?
Well, there was a big rally yesterday at the Capitol. The Speaker, Pelosi, as well as Senate President Schumer, both attended and have made passing this a priority in both chambers. Now, this bill is really popular. 87% roughly of the American public support in investment in home care and in child care that this bill would provide. And so the state of play is such that it is Washington, but we are doing everything we can along with partners like you mentioned, Ai-jen Poo, the National Domestic Workers United, ADAPT, so many disability advocates, really seeing this as a unique opportunity to make sure that these are quality jobs, but that it provides the type of care that's needed in this moment. Our country is getting older. We need people to take care of them, and Build Back Better would help make this more possible.
So we haven't passed a bill just yet, or I should say Congress hasn't passed a bill just yet, so we can't quite celebrate the measure. But Mary Kay Henry, the international president of SEIU, has touted Build Back Better as a win for home care workers already. And I wonder, is there something at this point that we can claim as a win with regards to the narrative and conversation that's happening around the bill?
Absolutely. Our union in particular here in Chicago was formed 3 or 4 decades ago. And these workers, they were Black women who made less than minimum wage. They were making $1 an hour. And we're talking about 30 years ago, so years ago now. And so to have the conversation shift so that these workers are now at the front lines and are seen as heroes is a dramatic shift in the narrative. Now we've got to get Build Back Better passed so these workers can begin to make decent wages and have a job that they can rely on to take care of themselves and the folks they care for. More that instead of working 3 and 4 jobs, they can work just one. This is the future of the middle class in this country, and we can fight for it going forward.
Love that. So this bill also promises to invest in immigration reform, which is another hot topic. Tell us about how this could offer a safer and more sustainable even pathway to citizenship for millions of undocumented immigrants.
Well, as I've mentioned, this bill really is historic. It is an opportunity for once, certainly in the home care side of it, to make sure that those workers, many of them are immigrants, can have a pathway to citizenship because they undercut wages and benefits when they aren't part of the economy, aren't part of our larger body politic. So we think, again, this is a unique opportunity to make sure that everyone is in, that it's a recovery that benefits all Americans and not just the wealthy.
So I want to get a little bit of the inside baseball from you because SEIU is certainly one of the largest labor unions in the world and a very powerful voice for working people in Washington, and certainly, you know, relationships with this administration that are longstanding and with members of Congress have done a lot, you know, over the years together. I'm curious, what scoop can you give us from the labor movement's perspective about how it's going? How are the talks going? Give us a sense of what some of those negotiating points are and how the relationships are happening there up on the Hill.
Well, what we're hearing is that there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of champions who are really pushing the Progressive Caucus in particular has really been out front and making sure that these provisions are part of any type of recovery package. You know, this is Washington. And this is Chicago, but that's Washington. And it has a way that it operates. But I am convinced, given the support of the Speaker, as well as the Senate President, as well as the relentless pressure that Representative Jayapal, Pramila Jayapal has been amazing. Representative Schakowsky here from Chicago, so many others. Senator Casey from Pennsylvania, my own senators, Duckworth and Durbin, who are in leadership, are really making this a priority, and because they understand not just simply the political reality, it's very popular, but it's the right thing to do. And we can no longer have a recovery that only benefits part of the country. It has to include everyone. And that includes those women, those Black and brown and immigrant women who are doing such critical work for our country.
I gotta say that the two people who are standing in the way of this most of the time are Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, and it just doesn't seem to me that they care about those Black and brown women. So I wonder, are you guys making any inroads with the moderates?
I think we are all hands on deck, and there have been some productive conversations, certainly with Senator Manchin, and folks are continuing to educate them about what the bill means, how it might impact the people of Arizona or West Virginia. And it's unequivocally a good thing for the country and for everybody. And so we're just trying to make that case, and we'll continue to make it as long as and as hard as it takes to get this done. Again, this is history in the making.
I appreciate the work that you are doing because, to me, it feels like banging your head against a wall. I just have to laugh at the idea that we're educating some middle-aged and old white people about what a bill does when it's their job to know exactly what a bill does. So you are so diplomatic, and I have such respect for you for that. I want to, before I let you go, I want to touch on the bipartisan infrastructure bill that the president did sign into law earlier this week. One of Biden's main selling points for getting the law passed was rooted in how many jobs it would create. So talk to me about why government investment is so critical for creating equity and jobs for the new American majority.
Yeah, I think government has to do it. Corporations have a role, but we think government has a unique role to play in leading the way. So many of these jobs are needed for the public's good. Home care, in particular, is for the public good. It's funded through, federal dollars. So we believe that the government can help set the table to move in a direction that benefits the entirety of our country. And home care as a critical part of our long-term care system and our healthcare system, delivery system overall, has been in the shadows for so long. This is the first time that we have a national conversation about the need for reform of long-term care, that we need to make sure that we have folks that can take care of our parents and our grandparents, as well as folks who can take care of our younger people on the childhood end. And so this has never happened. These are workers who are primarily women, and we know the systemic, racism that undergirds so much of our economy. The government has a unique role in this, and we look forward to them really stepping up and making this historic moment real.
Greg Kelly, president of SEIU Healthcare, Illinois, Indiana, Missouri, and Kansas. Thank you so much for sharing your perspective and for the work that you do. Appreciate you coming on Amplified tonight.